All right, guys, so it looks like 2020 wasn't quite done with me just yet. It is New Year's Eve. We have just over 4 more hours in 2020, and yeah, this happens. All right, guys, day whatever it is that we're on. Back at it, got the BMW buttoned up quite a bit. I was able to get the cam caps torqued down. Went ahead, started doing some of the wiring, started routing some of the fuel lines back. It's going to take a minute to get some of that stuff completely finished because I'm waiting on some new fittings. I found out that I was having some clearance issues that I didn't really notice before. But anyway, here's a look at what we got. See, like I said, caps are in, torqued down. Got a wiring kind of run through there. Got to hook my turbo feed and return lines back up. Just kind of mock fitting my coolant return line. That's probably going to end about right there. Just want to make sure I got enough clearance. And of course, we got to get our timing set again. So I've already got everything set to TDC. So, and then down here, I know it's slightly off-centered, but that mark isn't actually anything. This right here is the actual TDC mark. So, you guys have already seen, I've got an entire video up on how to set the timing or setting the timing on this engine. Check that out, we'll link it right here. But I'm gonna go ahead, knock out the timing. If I do anything else, I'll record it and I'll let you guys know. I'm not gonna sit here and show you guys how to do the timing again. It's like the 4th time I've done it on here now. So I'll check back with you guys in a minute. All right, guys, so it looks like 2020 wasn't quite done with me just yet. Quick update, it is New Year's Eve. We have just over 4 more hours in 2020, and yeah, this happens. So as I was trying to put in my fuel rail, the bolt that goes here decided to pop out. Like it literally popped out, and it went down that spark plug hole right there. So now I have a bolt, an Allen key bolt, stuck in my number 2 cylinder. I've tried fishing around for it with a few things I've had. I don't have a magnet small enough to get in there. I've even tried using my vacuum from my carbon fiber stuff, and none of that's worked. Looks like I'm gonna have to pull the head off one more time to fish out whatever that is down there. Well, I know what it is, but to fish that bolt out of there, I'm gonna have to take the head back off, which means all those freshly torqued bolts for like the cams and the head studs gotta come back out. Fuck. Oh, let's do it. All right, so I can definitely hear it moving, so it's not stuck on anything anymore. So what I think I might be able to do is run my vacuum pump again and suck it up through there. Alright guys, so I made a quick trip to O'Reilly's. I picked up this little flexible little magnet grabber thingy. It's got little claws and stuff. Anyway, we're gonna get this in here. We're gonna see if we can pull out the bolt that we dropped in there. And hopefully so, because I really don't want to pull this head back off. Of course, it's just a little bit too big. Alright guys, good news. I was finally able to fish out the bolt. It sucked. It took a lot of time, but I didn't have to take the head back off. Unfortunately, I did start disassembling the head in anticipation for having to do that, but it's not that big of a deal. Cam caps never came off. Obviously the head studs never came off. The only thing I took off was the front timing plate, the oil feed line for the VVTi, which is kind of a bitch to get on now that I bent the tube. And then I took the cam gears off, obviously. But other than that, we didn't have to do much disassembly. Really just got to throw the connectors back on, and everything should go back together pretty quickly. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put the fuel rail back on. But first, I'm going to toss a few shop rags in here to not run into that same problem. I don't want to go fishing for a bolt again. So we're just going to stuff these in here. Alright. Next up, we'll get our banjo bolt back in for this. Now, doing this absolutely sucks for me because I did bend the hard pipe. I could go to a flexible line. Powerhouse Racing makes one. It's like 120 bucks, so it's not that expensive. And it's basically a banjo bolt with like a -6 line on it. I don't know if it's an actual -6 size, but it's basically one of those braided hoses on two banjo bolts or two banjo fittings. I'm gonna wait before I tighten that down because I want to get the back plate on there, and I'm going to get my cooling line back on there as well. Alright, so one of the issues I was running into was I was using the wrong timing plate cover. This one is from my other 2JZ, and that one's a non-VVTi. And you can see it's completely round, minus these little cutouts right here. But up in here, it's completely round. That's because the bolts for the front camshaft cap are shorter on the non-VVTi motors. But if you look right here on the VVTi rear timing plate, it's got notches cut in them for the for these two bolts to clear. I am running into a little bit of a grinding issue, which I think is from this little bump down here. So I'm going to go ahead and continue to try to tap that out, and hopefully we're able to fix it. So what should come is no surprise. I got super frustrated trying to get that bolt out, so I kind of stormed off without actually cleaning up. Not that the garage is ever really that clean for me anyway, but that happened, and now it's hard to find a few things. Next up is just getting the cam gears back on. So we'll go ahead and do that. Then I gotta set them back to TDC. Alright guys, so we got our accessory drive back on. Timing, I'm a little iffy about the exhaust timing. Not too concerned about it, but I know it's not exactly how it needs to be. We'll address that at a later point though. So now I just got the valve covers back on, do our connectors, oil feed, mount some stuff back up. So I'm going to throw the valve covers back on off camera. Probably do the connectors the same way, but just yeah, it's just really one more good day of work and this should be running again. Anyway, that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.